Because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has been out for a week now, I'm going to rank all of the new Planet of the Apes movies. But before I start with the ranking, I have to give out a spoiler alert for all of the new Planet of the Apes movies, including Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So be warned.
Take your stinking paw off me, you damn dirty ape!
Let's first start with the negatives. You really notice that this movie has the lowest budget out of all of these movies. I mean, just starting with the CGI of the apes, you can really see that they're computer animated instead of them looking like photorealistic apes. You can also just see that Rupert Wyatt isn't a Matt Reeves. As hard as that sounds, it's true. Because the finesse of directing from Matt Reeves is simply lacking here. Also, the human characters aren't that great, except maybe for James Franco's character and his grandfather, but the story mostly focuses on Caesar himself, so it didn't bother me that much. Anyway, even though this movie is in last place, that doesn't mean it's bad at all, because there are a lot of positives. The whole story is very interesting, of how Caesar basically becomes best buddies with a human, but then because he doesn't fit in with humans, he just gets locked away. So eventually he breaks out of there and also makes all of the other apes intelligent with the substance that can make apes as intelligent as a human. Also, Caesar as a character is great because in the movie you basically switch protagonist from James Franco to Caesar over time. Overall, I give this movie a 3.5 out of 5, so very good, but it's only going to get better from here.
There are dangers beyond our village.
What a wonderful
I was really torn between putting this or Rise on number 3, because this movie definitely has bigger problems than Rise, but it also has some fat positives. The VFX in this movie are fantastic. So good to a point that sometimes you're not even sure if they just used puppets, because it just looks so good. Wes Ball also just put in so many small and less small details that I could really appreciate, like how Noah and his eagle clan lives on utility poles, which they added some wood so that it was habitable for them. Or that Noah doesn't know that humans are called humans because his clan calls them echoes. Or just in general, that basically none of the apes seem to know, with some exceptions like Proximus of course, that the humans used to be smart. I could go on and on, but you get the point. This movie's filled with small details that just give you the feeling that this world we're in is alive. Rocka, the orangutan that kind of becomes the friend of Noah, was great as well. Also, I would have liked to see more of him because he's like the last follower of Caesar's word and was just generally a cool character. He was charming, funny, but also a cool mentor for Noah. I do have some negatives though, and those are the story isn't really its strong suit. Besides the fact that it's filled with plot holes and plot convenience, the story of Noah's journey is just a very classic hero's journey, which you've seen before in better in a lot of other movies. And the plot holes and plot convenience that come up in the third act really were quite annoying. Also, May kind of mutates into a plot device at the end of the movie rather than being a real character. Overall, I give this one a 3.5 out of 5 as well.
Apes! Do not want war!
The whole plot around Caesar's son didn't really catch me that much. Also, Gary Oldman was kind of over the top and not really tangible. The story is great, but it didn't overly catch me because it has a lot of parallels to Hamlet. The CGI, while being really good, isn't as good as in War for the Planet of the Apes, but that isn't a huge problem because it's still very well animated, which leads me to the positives. Caesar's journey is really great in this movie because on the one hand, he grew up with the humans and does want them to survive, but then on the other hand, he doesn't really trust them and most definitely doesn't want apes and humans fighting against each other. On the other hand, we have Koba, who really wants to kill the humans because they tortured and experimented on him, so you can understand his point. And then in between, we have Caesar's son, Blue Eyes, who doesn't really know what is right and what not, so he trusts Koba, his cool uncle, which obviously, if you know Hamlet or The Lion King, is not the right decision. I really like the aesthetics of this movie. It's kind of a mix between Rise of the Planet of the Apes and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. 4 out of 5.
I did not start this war. ape who did is dead.
The visual effects in this movie are mind-blowingly good. I mean, Caesar genuinely looks real. The hairs, the hair follicles, even his individual pores, everything's there. Woody Harrelson's character is a really great bad guy, and you even understand him to a certain point. Why I love this movie so much is probably just simply because it really touched me with Caesar's just devastating story. Seeing how his child and wife get killed just breaks your heart, but you see how he goes on this revenge trip to get back his apes and kill Woody Harrelson, who killed his children. Also, after the last two movies, you really got attached to Caesar, so when he dies at the end, I was just completely devastated. But then on the other side, you can also kind of identify yourself with the humans, even though they're so brutal to the apes. They're just trying to survive and keep humanity alive as we know it. Bad Ape was very fun as well, and also just brought in some much needed humor. I'm sure there are some plot holes or plot convenience in this movie, but while watching it, I didn't notice any of them, so I really don't have a negative for this one. 5 out of 5 for me. A perfect movie. To check out my full review to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, click here. Subscribe, thanks for watching, and bye.